In this video, I'll walk you through how I diagnosed and fixed a P0300 Random multiple cylinder misfire detected issue that caused the check engine light to come on. The customer brought in their vehicle with the complaint, so I started by confirming the issue and running a diagnostic. First, I connected a scan tool to the vehicle to retrieve the trouble code. The scan revealed a P0300 code, which indicates a misfire across multiple or random cylinders. I monitored the live data using the scan tool and pinpointed the specific cylinder that was misfiring. This is important because P0300 can sometimes point to a larger issue, but in this case, it was isolated to one cylinder. To investigate further, I connected a spark tester to the ignition coil for the misfiring cylinder. I cranked the engine, but the coil didn't produce a spark. This confirmed there was an issue with the ignition system for that cylinder. Next, I disconnected the ignition coil connector and performed a visual inspection of the connector and terminals. There were no obvious signs of damage, such as corrosion, bent pins, or loose connections. To rule out any wiring or power supply issues, I used a multimeter to test for power and ground at the ignition coil. Both were present, which meant the ignition coil was receiving the necessary signals to function. To double-check, I clipped a test light to the battery positive terminal, cranked the engine, and probed the ignition coil control circuit terminal at the coil. The test light flashed, indicating that the coil was being properly triggered by the engine control module, ECM. With all these tests, I verified that the ignition coil itself was faulty and needed to be replaced. To fix the issue, I replaced the faulty ignition coil with a new one. After the repair, I cleared the trouble codes and performed a road test. The vehicle operated as expected, the check engine light stayed off, and no fault codes returned. This repair highlights the importance of a systematic diagnostic approach. By ruling out potential causes like wiring or ECM faults, I avoided unnecessary parts replacement and confirmed the true issue. If you're dealing with a P0300 code or misfire issues, this video will help you understand the steps to diagnose and fix the problem effectively.